All right, ladies and gentlemen, the knockout stage is over the Champion League. We are in the last 16, okay? And we'll talk a little bit about the last 16, and we're going to talk a little bit about the knockout stage as well. Okay, let's start off from the left bracket. We have Liverpool versus PSG. Okay, this one is pretty much very hard to predict, simply because it's easy to say Liverpool could win this, because Liverpool they're the best team in the world right now. I mean, just from the league itself, in the league they only lost one game so far, and they had many ties in the league, but they only lost one game throughout the whole season. And then when you go to PSG, in their league record, it's kind of the same, but they're one of the teams that have to play in the knockout stage to get here. But during their knockout stage, their performance was crazy. I mean, they literally had on the last game against Brest, they literally had 7 goals. They had great transfer window. They have great players. I mean, this could be the game. This could be a very, very good game. And I can't really say who would win in this game, to be honest with you. But obviously, if you had to put your money, you have to say Liverpool. You just have to say simply just from the record. Okay? So I'm going to say Liverpool is going to come through on this one. And then after that, it's going to be Club Brugge and Aston Villa. Now, Club Brugge got here by beating Atalanta. I mean, that game was crazy. Atalanta and Club Brugge. Club Brugge was the best team from both legs. The first leg, it was at their home, and they looked very much comfortable going through as well. Now, when they came back to Atlanta, you assuming that Atlanta was going to change something, or maybe they're going to wake up or something. But no, the whole game, they were still dominant. I mean, they could have scored more goals, in my opinion. I mean, Atalanta was getting so frustrated that their captain literally lost his mind and attacked one of the Club Rouge players to the point that he got a red card. That's how good they were. I mean, they were very much surprising to Atalanta. I mean, Atalanta was crashing out to the point that after the game, one of their best players had a penalty kick, and it was a terrible penalty kick, and he missed. And the coach came out and said, "This guy's trash, bro. This guy can't kick a penalty. We asked him not to do this. He doesn't even score penalties during practice. Why did he think he can score a goal, in a big game like this?" I mean, I thought that was outrageous. Imagine you're a coach, a person was trying to, uh, keep you up, keep your spirits up. He's telling you, you're the worst penalty taker I ever seen. This is a player who has the most goals, and he's one of the best players in their team. But then again, I think there's something that we don't know in the background between the coach and the player, because there's something normal about this. And the fact that he's leaving this summer anyway, that kind of, I think it adds up more into what the coach is saying, because I think this is just outrageous. And the player came out and said this was not okay for my coach to say this, but in my opinion, he should have never said anything. Just keep it quiet, bro. You're leaving already. They're upset that you're leaving, I'm sure. And you're fine. You're going to go to a better place. Don't worry about it. But either way, they lost, so they got knocked out. Club Brugge came through. So I think Club Brugge definitely deserve it. Just from those two legs, I have to go with Club Brugge. Aston Villa has been great in the Champions League for sure, and they had a great transfer. I mean, they got Marcus Rashford is here, but I don't know if they got the best Marcus Rashford, if that makes sense, So I'm not sure if Aston Villa is gonna come through on this. I'm gonna go with Club Brugge. That's kind of I'm gonna put them in the favorite just because I just love their performance. Like every player in that team, it's like they're like a connected machine. You know what I mean? They move pretty much very well from the back to the front to the midfield. They're very much a balanced team. And for just all the changes that's happened in Aston Villa, I'm not sure if they can keep the momentum going. And yes, they have a great coach, but I don't know. I'm going to stick with Club Brugge on this one. And then we have Real Madrid and, you guessed it, the rivals, okay? Atletico Madrid, okay? This was something that a lot of people were not really excited to see this, but really we saw it coming. They played against each other already twice this season, I believe, and both times was very exciting. These are two teams where you never really know how the game is going to go, because Atletico Madrid is very good at handling Real Madrid perfectly. So I still think Real Madrid, you can't, again, I mean, I've been saying this for years, you just cannot go against Real Madrid. Remember, Real Madrid was one of the teams in the knockout stage, and they played against Manchester City. And I remember when the draw happened against Manchester City, a lot of Manchester City fans were like, oh my God, not again. Because there's a history between Manchester City and Real Madrid. Because, the last few times they played, I mean, the goals were the goals were just coming out of nowhere. And a time like this when Manchester City is not doing so great, they're not. I mean, it's got to be I've never seen them this terrible in my life. They're basically turned into Barcelona season. What is it? 2020. This is like the 2020 of Barcelona. It doesn't matter the flashy players they have, but they're just something off. They look like a small club. Every time they play against a bigger team, they just don't seem that they're gonna be the winners. I mean, this week they play against Liverpool, and I don't think they'll beat Liverpool. They were having a hard time beating Liverpool when they were their best. Can you imagine now? Like, how is that gonna go? So coming into this game, even their own fans knew this wasn't gonna go great, but nobody knew it was gonna get this bad. Okay, like the first leg, it was fine, but again, the defense mistakes are just like childish play. Again, 2020 Barcelona, the defense mistakes were crazy. They caused their own downfall on the first leg. You know what I mean? At the last minute of the game, they basically gave them a goal. And then on the way back, you're thinking maybe they'll get something out of this. And immediately when the game started, Kylian Mbappe came to form, okay? This guy, he was right. The adaptation is over. He is out of here, okay? My boy got a hat trick. I mean, overall in the game, I just thought Real Madrid was the better team overall. I think after the first leg, they realized how weak Manchester City is and how weak that back line is, and they absolutely took advantage of it. The way they would just chip the ball over to Kylian Mbappe every time, it worked. I mean, we were in, 4 minutes in the game, the first goal came, and he just chipped over Ederson. Ederson, obviously, everybody's been saying my guy needs to retire or go somewhere else because his time is over. His time is over. He needs to go somewhere else. I mean, that was crazy. Why was he out of his line that far? If you're going to be out that far, you might as well come all the way. But staying in the middle, like, it was an amateur move, and you just don't do that to a team like Real Madrid, a player like Kylian Mbappe. So after that goal was scored, everybody kind of felt that there was just no way coming back. Even Manchester City themselves felt that way. And as the game went on, you can see they didn't look like they were going to score any goal. Like, there's no way they were going to score any goal that whole game. That's what it looked like. So Madrid kind of realized that, and they just chilled. It slowly played their game, and they won. They won by 3 goals. Kylian Mbappe scored, and I would say the second or the third goal for Kylian Mbappe was one of the best. Okay, I mean, this guy showed how accuracy his balls are from the first goal, and then the second goal, I'm not sure if it was the second goal or the third goal, but the cutback, it was crazy. I mean, this is a team that we've been saying that, is it going to be a problem? You have all these superstars in the same team. Is it going to work? Ancelotti is making it work, okay? And it seems like the aura getting behind Kylian Mbappe being their leader, their goal scorer, and it doesn't seem to be any animosity in between them at all. They're all helping him basically score as much goals as he can because it would benefit them in the end. Even to see the Vinicius to step back in the passenger seat was very much fascinating to see. Like, they all seem to be doing great, and this is how you perform, man. The guy's here, and so for that reason, I just don't see why I would go against Real Madrid coming through against Atletico Madrid. Not to say Atletico Madrid is not gonna show all they have, because they're obviously a great team. I just think Real Madrid is just very much in form right now, and they're very much hungry. So I'm gonna have them come through, and then on the bracket, it would be PSV and Arsenal. This one, it could go either way, in my opinion. I know a lot of people are thinking Arsenal, come on, obviously Arsenal's going to come through, but I don't know. PSV is also one of the teams where in the knockout stage, they beat Juve. I think they beat them comfortably. I didn't think they had any kind of even as you're watching the game, there was only one team that was going to come through, in my opinion, and it was PSV. And I would assume they came this far, they're going to really fight for it. But Arsenal has beat them before, and PSV has beat them before as well. So this is a game that it could go either way, but obviously I'm going to stick with Arsenal. I'm still going to stick with Arsenal, but again, Arsenal's one of those teams who will bottle it, okay? They're good at that. This is a team that year after year we expect them the heights from them, and they always let us down. So I'm not sure, but I'm still going to give them benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say Arsenal's going to come through in this game. So that will be the first bracket. And then on the other side of the bracket, it's going to be Barcelona versus Benfica. This one's very interesting because we already saw them play against each other, and it was probably one of the best Champions League games so far this season. And I don't know, is it going to be another one like this? I would expect not. I would expect they both kind of know what they bring to the table. So I would assume both teams should be prepared, for not to have what happened last time, right? There was a lot of mistake on the Barcelona side. I'm hoping those mistakes would be cleared. Same with Benfica as well, but this one is going to be very hard, but I don't see any reason why Barcelona can't come through. I'm sorry to say, like, Barcelona's in great form. They know the mistakes they made the last time. They need to fix it up. There's no reason for two leg for them to not come out. It's simple as that to me. Okay? And this is a season where they have a great chance of going to the final. I mean, the side of the bracket they're in, really their biggest contender would be Leverkusen or FC Bayern. I mean, that's the only two I can really think about. Other than that, they should be able to beat everybody else on their side of the bracket. So Benfica and Barcelona, I expect Barcelona to come out clear in two leg. Okay, they might lose one leg, but there's no way they should be losing two leg against Benfica. Simple as that. The other one is Lyon versus Dortmund, and I expect Dortmund to come out. I mean, there's no reason for Dortmund to come out again. Honestly, but again, Dortmund's one of those teams where you never know. They could have the best game or they could have the best season, and then that one small team, one game where they just kind of die off completely. It could happen. It could honestly happen. So for this one, I'm still going to say Dortmund, but I wouldn't be shocked if Lyon give us a shocker. You know what I mean? I would not be surprised. And then the big derby we have is Leverkusen versus FC Bayern. Now, this is going to be the biggest game in the next bracket, simply because these are two teams who are going head-to-head for Bundesliga, and they already played last week, I believe. They played, and that game showed that Leverkusen has it. Okay? Bayern is still wobbling. Bayern barely made it out of the knockout stage. They played against Celtic, and they almost were out. They were almost out, okay? I mean, they literally scored at the last second of the game. Davy came out of nowhere and saved them on that one. I mean, yes, you can say, regardless how that game was going from the first leg, I mean, they won the first leg, and then coming back home, you're assuming this is Bayern's home. No one's going to really beat them at their home. And for some reason, Harry Kane was out on the halftime of the game. But nevertheless, I mean, Bayern was on them the whole time. Even if this game would have went to extra time, I believe Bayern was going to win regardless. Okay? But then again, this is not the best Bayern team we've seen in the last few years. Okay? So just for that reason, I can easily see Leverkusen beating Bayern in this game. But then again, Bayern has the more experience in the Champions League. And I think that has that's some pedigree right there. You know what I mean? I got to give them a little bit more credit simply because they have the experience to go through in these kind of games. Leverkusen is a new girl in town kind of thing, right? So they have a new coach. The team is doing great. And they played against Bayern, and they showed that they were better than Bayern in the last game. And I would like to think Bayern saw that, and they're going to improve because of what happened the last time they played against each other. So this is a very hard one. I'm still going to say Bayern. I'm being cliche about this, but Bayern. But I think a lot of people are going to go for Leverkusen simply because of the last game. But I'm going to say Bayern. I'm going to still have hope for them to come through. Yeah, it's going to be a hard one. The last one's going to be Feyenoord and Inter Milan. So Feyenoord, Inter Milan. Feyenoord was one of the teams also came out of the knockout stage, and they basically beat AC Milan. AC Milan is basically trending downwards. They're not trending upwards. They trend downwards. At the beginning of the season, they were looking great. They were one of the favorites to be Serie A champions. Now they're not at all. They're not even in the top four. Okay, and in the Champions League, I'm playing against Feyenoord. The first leg, I mean, it didn't even look like they cared. They were playing like they were just gonna win the game on the first leg. So the first leg didn't go the way they wanted to go, and then now it was the second leg at home. It's like, it's okay, you know what I mean? We can still win this 1-1. It's still 0-0 basically coming back. And same thing, the whole game they were looking good. I mean, everybody thought they were going to come through, no big deal. And then Hernandez makes the most silliest mistake. He gets a yellow card by dragging a player early in the game. And even the foul that he made was just so silly. It was It was unnecessary yellow card that he got. And then while he's on this yellow card, he decides to dive to get a penalty, and he gets another card. I mean, you can't simulate a dive in the box. That's an automatic yellow. Everybody knows it. He should know it as well. You know what I mean? He's one of the captains. You should know this. So I would solely blame it on him, because right when he left the field and they were just down a man, it was over. Feyenoord only needed one good chance, and they got it, and they scored, and AC Milan looked like they just couldn't come back. They've done anything they could. It just didn't work out. You know, I feel for Joe Felix at this whole thing. Joe Felix just came, and he came at the worst time. Same with Kyle. Not a great time, guys. Not a great time. Either way, they lost, and Feyenoord came out, and now they play against another Italian team, and the only Italian team left, Inter Milan. And I have to say, I would be extremely shocked if Inter Milan doesn't take care of business. I see no reason why Inter Milan is not going to win this game at all. Okay? No ifs or buts about it. There's no reason to go deep dive into this. I expect Inter Milan to simply come through in this game. Okay? Really represent Serie A. That's what I would say. But anyway, that's what we got for the Champions League. Yeah, I mean, this is looking great. There's going to be a lot of good games. That's it. That's all I got. All right, see ya.